Hi, I'm Carrie, a stroke survivor and brain injury survivor.
And I'm Kezia, a brain injury survivor as well. And today is going to be our second episode of Bindwaves. And we have our guest today is Bernard. He's super welcoming and loves pets, dogs to be exact. So we're so happy to see him here. And he's going to be explaining to us about what happens after a brain injury. So good morning, Bernard.
Good morning. I'm Bernard Brown. I suffered my brain injury back in 2005, June of 2005, and the recovery is ongoing. And I'm here today to share some of my recovery with you guys, and I'll lead on to the ladies.
To the ladies.
Welcome to Bindwaves, the official podcast of the Brain Injury Network of Dallas. I'm Brian White, Bind's Executive Director. On each episode, we'll be providing insight into the brain injury community. We'll be talking to members and professionals regarding their stories and the important role of Bind's Clubhouse. We work as a team to inspire hope, community, and a sense of purpose to survivors, caregivers, and the public. Thank you for tuning into Bindwaves. Let's get on with the show.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Like I said, you're like, I've missed you so much in the time that we haven't been able to
miss
see
you
you.
guys
So
also.
I'm so excited that you're here and willing to share like your recovery and all of that. So I think that the best question to begin is like, what happens after you have a brain injury? Like you're in the hospital and then what?
My experience, what happens at the brain injury is you wake up and you, and you look around and you say, whoa, you know, like I didn't really remember everything right at that time. I knew I was injured. I just woke up in the hospital with someone staring at me doing this, like, whoa. So I knew it was bad. And far as after the injury, like during the hospital time, I thought, like, I don't know, like, what is this? What's going on? I knew my world had changed. And it's just, I know I just wanted to get out and get started. That was my biggest, is like, okay, let's see what this has for me now. But I knew everything had changed. And so, and like I said, it's been 15, 16 years, and the recovery is still ongoing. I suffer from a lot of things. Like, I've learned to fake it, you know, like act like you're all right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and I figure I fake it till I make it, and I'm still trying to make it. So, but it's ongoing. Some
That's
days
true,
are hard.
Yeah. Now,
know?
does rehab look the same for everybody?
No, I don't think. I think that might be a misconception. I think all our injuries are different. It affects how you live, how you eat. I mean, I'm saying how you suffer from your injury goes into how you live. You know, so I mean, like, I can't sleep. Like, the only way, like, I was expecting this, so I couldn't sleep at about 1:30, 1:45. I had to take a pill. Like, try not to take pills. But if I'm excited or expecting something, I really can't sleep. Then
Right.
my brain won't let me relax. So like I say, it's ongoing. And you do certain things to cover up other things. So, but I don't think any of them are the same.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
And like I said, I'm happy that they're starting to do studies on brain injuries, but I don't think the information is exact or anything, because like what I suffer from and what I hear other people suffer from, I mean, certain things collab, but I think all of them are different.
Right.
You know? Yeah. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I think that's something that we always talk about here. Like, as part of Bind, being members at Bind, we always have something to learn from different people. But so you have a brain injury, you're at a hospital, but like literally, I think some people don't even know, like, we go into an inpatient recovery. Like, what is even recovery considered? Like, I know obviously we all get doctors. A doctor woke you up and like, who is this person, right? But other than doctors, what do we get? Like, what services do we get as brain injury survivors to recover?
As far as if you know something that I don't know, please share it with me. I don't think that we really, like the science is really there for people with brain injuries. Like, I guess if I had a heart attack, I can go certain places and get help from my heart attack, as opposed to having a brain injury. It's not like you can just get in the phone book and say, okay, let's call this and go see about this, because I don't know if it's the different aspects of brain injuries where they can't pinpoint, what to do for us, but the information is not there for us. I mean, like I say, you can't call a hotline and say, hey, I'm suffering from brain injury, can I get this? As opposed to if I'm having a heart attack or if I suffer from a broken leg, I can call anywhere and, there's something there for me. Whereas there's no avenues for us.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like I said, that I know of. If you know some that I don't know, please
Well,
share
the hotline of Bind,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's a great hotline.
Yeah. But so
Yeah.
so like I said, like the research, I think this, like, they only started, from my understanding, and I do a lot of reading, is 2004 is when they really started initiating the aspect of the science of brain injury. So it's still fairly new in the field, in studies of brain injury. So I guess we're all involved.
Well, and like you said, you're still
precedent.
working on your recovery.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
ongoing, and everyone you've got OT, PT, physical rehabilitation, and all different kinds. But so when you leave the hospital, do you go back for outpatient? Can you continue to go somewhere to get help?
Well, all depends on. I found out it all depends on, like with everything else, who you know, and what as far as what little programs or whatever little things you can get to help you with your recovery. Like it took me, I think I was into my recovery 7, 8, 9 years before I found Bind. So I don't, like I said, I don't know any really places that you can really go to get the help that we need.
Did you have like a physical therapist or an occupational therapist or speech therapist?
I had all that for a time, but it got to be frustrating for me because the help that I was getting is like, I'm not ignorant. Some of the help is just like, I couldn't do it. It was like, I don't know how anybody else took it. It's like it was beneath me. I'm like, this ain't brain help. This is get away from it. I mean, I'm just saying, it's like the help that they offered, it had nothing to do with helping me recover. So it was more frustrating that I wasn't going to subject myself to a questionnaire of some ignorant, I just couldn't do that. Is this what you think? I mean, I can read and I can understand that this ain't helping me. You just insulted me with these questions you're asking me. So a lot of time I was frustrated with the recovery of brain injury.
Yeah,
Because they made me feel stupid as opposed to trying to help me. You asked me insulting questions. I ain't say I was retarded. I said I had brain injury. I suffer from headaches. I can't sleep. And things like that. I can read a word. Don't give me some questionnaire with a bunch of stupid. It was insulting to me, my recovery.
Yeah.
Because I think they gave you more stuff that, I don't know, I guess they might have thought it was helping, but I guess with them not having any information on brain injuries, they don't know what to ask you. And I took it offensive. This ain't helping. This just make my head hurt more. You keep asking me these dumb questions. And so
I think
it didn't really work for me during the recovery. I was like they told me, they said, when I got out for 18 months, they told me I had to be in a house and go through this and all this recovery. At the 6 months, I couldn't take it anymore, and I quit going. I couldn't go and answer somebody sit up and give me a questionnaire, dumb questions, and you want me to answer this like I'm a kid. Is this box, is this a square? Is this, come on, man. What that got to do with me having a brain injury? So a lot of that stuff didn't work for me.
Yeah, I think everyone's recovery is
a little
very
different.
But I also, like right now when you were saying that you're getting very frustrated, isn't that something similar to you, Carrie? That you just were like, didn't like certain therapists, and it's just every therapist has to be very different and like kind of like fixed towards the person that they're dealing with, right?
Yeah,
I think that's true.
Mostly the neurologist got on my nerve, I mean, he was just doing his job. They were doing their job, but And I guess that's what they want to make sure
Right.
that you're recovering. And I couldn't fault them, but I was just for me, it was frustrating, and it was
Yeah.
couldn't take it. And I've noticed since the brain injury, I have no tolerance, for a lot of stuff.
Right.
So for, you mentioned also that after like 7-8 years, you didn't start coming to bind. So is bind what you considered as the best way to recover?
Yeah, Brian helped me tremendously. It let me know that, like a lot of times when I went to the doctor and I would tell the doctor what I was going through, they would look at me like, well, you look
Right.
healthy, you look this, and looks are deceiving because you never know what's inside. Just like with anything,
Right.
You judge somebody how you see it, not necessarily what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, and then this is what I suffer from. Welcome to brain injury, where you can totally lose your train of thought.
And that's absolutely true.
Anybody help me what I was saying?
Yeah, of course. So we were talking about how bind has helped.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
It happens.
No, it totally does happen.
I'm sorry.
No, it's a perfect example, right?
I totally lost it though.
It's okay.
Okay.
We were just talking about how bind has helped you with your recovery.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, before bind, like with the doctor, okay, I got it now. With the doctors, I would go and tell them what I was suffering from, and they would look at me like, sir, you get back your vitals, you're healthy, and you're this and that. And I tell them, man, I could be talking and I can be thinking of something right, like, okay, I'm going to the kitchen to get something, and before I get up, I forgot what I was
Right.
going to get. Literally, I'm talking about I had to sit down and think 5-10 minutes to, I was going to get to, go in the kitchen and sit there and stare and think about what it is that I was actually going to get. So brain injuries are different for everybody, and no recovery is the same. And I think you're only good as you sleep that night. I mean, like I want to take a job, but like the thought of having a job, my anxieties go up and everything. Why I ain't gonna do that to myself? Why?
Right.
Like I got the chills just thinking about it. I mean, I'm just saying because, and I don't want to go through the failure.
Right.
I don't want to go through the mental anguish, and it's just.
But by coming to bind, you feel like you're
Yeah, but
accomplishing stuff.
buying is, you guys are my foundation. I mean, it's like just not being able to come the last 18 months is just terrible.
Right.
Every week. I mean, I was only doing a couple days a week, but then we're like the best 2 days. I mean, you look forward to it.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
And I feel like you've been actually, since I've met you, you've been super successful. The kitchen, you're like awesome at that part.
Right.
Like, right now you were saying how sometimes you forget, but I wouldn't even know that until like right now that I
Right.
heard you, right? Because you're like very successful at that part, making sure that all of us have a great lunch. And, so I love that. So do you like cooking everywhere?
Yeah, I enjoy cooking. You want me to tell the truth?
I love the truth.
Okay. I'm kind of funny style, so I'd rather cook it than someone else. And I
Right.
can see what's going on. But no, all honestly, I enjoy cooking. I was raised with a family that had a restaurant, so I've been around cooking my whole life. So yeah.
Well, that's what I love about Bind is when you cook.
Well, thank
So
you.
just letting you know.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there any other activities that you like about Bind that's been helping you so much?
Camaraderie, being around you guys. I think it helps just knowing that you're not the only one. And that helped me more than anything. Like I said, before Bind, I would go to the doctor and tell them, and they would tell me, like, you look normal, you do this, and this, and that. And I would tell them what I was suffering from, and because they don't know much about
Right.
brain injury as they should. So it was like, I'm telling them something, and he's like, they're not believing me. But once I got to Brian and talk to everybody, and I was like, darn, it feels good to know
Right.
that I ain't crazy, and someone else
Exactly.
is going, what I'm feeling, that is
Yeah.
felt by someone else with the injury. Because they'll have you thinking, are you really, am I really hurt? Or am I really going through this? And I'm like, yeah, I am.
Right.
But they have you question your own self sometimes because they don't know how to analyze it. And then literally they don't because it's something new. Like,
Yeah.
and I've been passed around to so many neurologists, and just like when I first had the injury, they give you a lot of different drugs, and they try
Right.
all these things on you until they get something that works. And you just have to go through so much with the injury until you find a medium somewhere where you can just find the equilibrium with
Right.
it.
Yeah.
You know, I quit caring about what people think. You know what? I hope for a good night's sleep. If I can just go, no, y'all laugh, but I'm serious. If I can just go to sleep, I'm satisfied.
Well, it makes sense.
You know, because I don't sleep.
Right. Well, you seem to have a pretty positive attitude about your recovery and everything.
Yeah, and I learned that too. You know, I could have felt sorry for myself. You know, like I can't drive because I'm blind in this eye, and I suffer from what they call depth perception. I mean, I can see you until you start moving, and I can see you moving, but I can't judge the distance
Right.
when you're moving. And for years, it took 12 years for a doctor to tell me what I was suffering from. So I went to an eye doctor, and she said, you got what we call depth perception. And she explained it. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm going through. And, you know, I went to eye doctors, and all doctors, no one could tell me. They just say, well, you should be able to drive. And every time I tried to drive, I almost killed myself.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
scary. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then finally found out that and as I read about depth perception, is you can see it, and when it's moving, you can't judge it.
Right.
That means you can see it, you just can't judge the distance.
Right.
You know it's coming. Like I know that it's coming, but I can't tell how close it is, and therefore I'm not able to drive. But I found I could ride a bike.
Really?
You know? Yeah. Well, to say on the sidewalks, don't get in the street,
Right.
you know, like that. But I mean, I had to do something. I can't. Like I played college basketball. I can't play basketball because I can't see straight. Scared to get poked in the good eye. You know, because I ain't got but one, and I try to work with that.
Yeah,
So,
I think it's like a great example of how you're so positive. Last time that we were here at Bind, right now, like you said, I can't drive, but I can ride a bike. That's exactly like how I felt about you when I saw you and I met you here at Bind. We worked on a project about making a collage of like all the positive, and you used only these great words that we kept finding. And I think that's one thing that really shows about like how recovery goes for you. It might not have been X, Y, or Z before ending up at Bind, but this has been like amazing, right?
Yeah, it's great for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as it is what it is. You could actually beat yourself up or try to make what it is better. You know.
Right.
And that's what they told me in my recovery. They always said that. How are you so positive? Because it ain't gonna change. What up? So what? I'm gonna sit up and say, "Oh, whoa, man.
Right.
I ain't gonna be able to do this." I mean, it's just I know what I can do, what
Exactly.
I can't do, and I just do what I do. Stay positive, try to treat people properly, and keep it moving.
Well, Bernard, we appreciate you coming today, and we appreciate your positive attitude here at Bind and keeping us all encouraged.
Thank you.
Thank you
Is
so
that
much.
all? No. God
Almost,
bless.
but
Okay.
thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yes, thank you so much, Bernard, for coming. But for everyone else, this was our second episode of what happens after a brain injury. I hope you guys loved it, and just make sure to stay in contact with us for our third episode that's coming up real soon.
Thank you. Be blessed. Goodbye.
I'm Jeff. I had a brain tumor 20 years ago, and I would really like for you to buy some of these lovely cards, which are made by Bind members. And you could buy these cards by visiting the website, bind.org, or come to the shop and come to Bind and buy them that way.
Hello, my name's Daniel, and a myth that I've heard is that the way you feel after a brain injury is as good as you're going to feel. And I know that that's not true because I've been working with rehab and lots of therapies and stuff, and I no longer feel like it's just an uphill battle. So keep on keeping on, y'all.
We hope you've enjoyed listening to Bind Waves and continue to support Bind and our nonprofit mission.
We support brain injury survivors as they reconnect into the life, the community, and their workplace.
And we couldn't do that without great listeners like you. We appreciate each and every one of you. Continue watching. Until next time.
Until next time.